everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I figured I'd give y'all an overview of my 79 Camaro LS swap, give maybe a little cost breakdown, tell you how it went, let everybody know what I got going on under the hood. I don't have no videos of us doing the swap process, so I figured I'd make a little video doing a little rundown and give y'all some costs so you can know what it's going to cost you, possibly, depending on how you go about it. So to start out, if you've been to the channel before, awesome. If you haven't, welcome. This is my 1979 Chevrolet Camaro. It's originally a Berlinetta car. We just recently got it painted. I just recently got all these extra parts thrown on. We got the swap done sometime last year, and I just hadn't had time to work on it. So lately I've been trying to video some process of us doing it. Like I said, check out those videos if you haven't. A lot of likes on those videos. A lot of people seem to like it, so I'm going to try to do a little more here and there with this. So to start things off, we've got a 5.3 truck LS engine. It's backed by a 4L60E. I bought these used from a guy in town. Have had no problems. It's a high mileage motor, high mileage transmission. Luckily I've had no issues. So I went with the Fitek fuel injection system, as you can see there. I went that route just because it was the cheaper route to go for an all-in-all package. That was ECU, harness, the intake, the throttle body, injectors, O2 sensors. It was everything you needed, all in one package. That's the reason I went with that. If I could go back, I would do a Holley setup just from a little bit more reliability. But like I said, I've had no problems with this whatsoever. No, I did not go inside the engine. There's stock cam, stock everything inside. I did not touch anything on the inside. I went with a Speed Engineering conversion bracket to move the alternator and power steering pump. Those are the stock components off the original LS. I went with a LS3 style water pump just so that hose could come out the front and it wouldn't be coming up and getting in the way of our throttle body. And speaking of throttle body, it's a 92 millimeter. We have a eBay radiator. Haven't had any leaks, haven't any problems. Amazon overflow for it. Also got the Fitek fuel regulator, as well as behind the car is a Fitek Tanks Inc. tank and their in-tank pump, and I've had no problems. Amazon AN lines, low car trans dipstick. Got a I forget what brand it is, but it's a eBay oil pan, and no leaks, no problems. I've had no issues with the car. I've had a trans leak one time, and that was just due to me putting the fittings on not properly. But besides that, I've had no issues whatsoever. I am running a oil catch can off the driver's side valve cover, and then I'm using a radium oil field cap right here just to vent out crankcase pressure. Stock coil packs, a stainless, I believe it's a low car throttle cable. And then you're probably wondering about the filter. It's a Fitek filter also, but I plan on swapping up everything going on right here in the front a little bit and actually running a intake out to this side most likely, just so it looks better and actually isn't soaking up so much hot air. That's kind of why I wanted the vents to help. Running Speed Engineering 1 3/4 inch headers, long tubes, absolutely no problem. Had a buddy of mine weld in some V-bands onto that, and that's running into a pipes exhaust, which is an X pipe with the violator mufflers, and it's actually surprisingly not as loud as I wanted it to be. So, but that's probably a good thing. Like I said, the transmission is a 4L60E, automatic overdrive. It's using a G-force cross member, which it lined up perfectly fine. I've got a custom drive shaft cut and made, which luckily that didn't cost as much as I anticipated it to, so that was good. And I also used a ShiftWorks kit for the transmission so that I could retain the original shifter and everything else underneath, so it works out perfectly. It's just a very simple actual process to actually install, so happy about that. While we're in the interior, as you can see, it's got a Grant steering wheel. There's the Phytech display, a cheap Summit oil pressure gauge that I've got hooked up. The interior, all in all, is not in great shape. I've got a lot of work coming for that, so y'all stay tuned for that if you're interested in it. For engine mounts, we went with Dirty Dingo because of the adjustability. It kind of helps you able to slide the engine back and forth, and that seemed to work out perfectly. Didn't have to do nothing with that. Super stoked on how that worked out. And for the price, they actually pretty good quality and had a lot of great reviews. And no, I'm not running AC and heat, so that big box that was in the corner is no longer there. That's where I've got the ECU put for right now. I may end up trying to run it inside, but it was just nice and easy to put it there, and it doesn't seem to get heat soak or nothing, so that's pretty good. So ICT Build actually makes this block off hose right here that you just literally slide on, clamp it on, and it's good to go. Had no issues with the dual fan setup that came on this eBay radiator. You just wire it up to the Phytech system. They have 2 wires for signal wires, and you just wire it in. I have a relays put right here to control the fans, even pinned and made some connectors. That worked out no problem. Got a cheap Amazon trans cooler right in front, no issues. Here's a view of the tank and the exhaust. The tank fit perfectly fine, but as you can see, that exhaust is extremely low. One muffler is a hair crooked. We're gonna have to try to adjust that before too long, but it's super low, so I've got to be real careful where I go and drive. So here's the display for the Phytech, and as you can see, it shows you your RPMs, map sensor, coolant temp. You can just go down this whole list of stuff. Go through, there's large gauges, then there's the tuning, the initial setup. It learns as you go, so I've had no problems with it. I've actually enjoyed it for the most part. And like I said, it was the most cost effective for me with what all came in the package. So now the time for what everybody wants to know is the cost. So parts wise, with the motor, transmission, all the engine parts, I'm in $7,500. Now that's just me. You probably could do it cheaper. You could do it way more expensive if you wanted to. It just boils down to how much you want to spend and what your goals are. My goals were just a simple hot rod, be able to cruise up and down. Like I said, I didn't go in the motor, didn't do no cam, didn't do no pistons. We ain't running a turbo, no nitrous. We're not doing anything like that. No T56 Magnum transmission. This was just a simple swap because I didn't even plan on swapping this car when I first bought it, but the 305 just wasn't all that, and had an LS that kind of popped up, and I was like, well, screw it, let's just do it. So you could spend thousands more, you could spend way less. You could put a turbo on this thing, you know, something huge. You could do a supercharger, pro charger. You could run nitrous to it if you wanted to. Run a manual. You know, I haven't gone in the rear end. You could have run a Holly. You could have went carbureted. I just went with what seemed like it was gonna suit me the best. And that's just what it boils down to, is how much you want to spend, what your goals are, you know. There's people out there that do this for a couple $100, right, and make it happen. There's people who spend tens of thousands of dollars on something. So this is what ended up working out for me. This route for me was budget friendly with a little bit extra. And plus, I've never done this before. First time LS swapping a car, first time building a car like this. So I'm just happy with how it's turned out with the cost. You know, I've got other money wrapped up in the backyard paint job and all the parts added on the exterior and that kind of stuff, you know, but engine wise, I'm in it in around that ballpark. So, but I'm overall happy with how it's turned out, and it's really just no complaints. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think. If there's anything I didn't think about saying, let me know. I can give you as much information as possible on this thing. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any ideas for any future videos, let me know. I've got a lot of things coming for the interior. A couple things I want to do underneath the car as well. I've got ideas of taking it to Cars and Coffee, going to the drag strip, trying that out for once. Just trying to do some things with it. And if there's anything y'all would like to see, just comment, let me know. If there's anything else that I might have forgotten on the car to let y'all know, tell me, and we'll talk about it. All right, guys, appreciate it.